We all know this was coming. And this is exactly why the puppets of the West tried their best to thwart these leaders from getting into office. By them, I mean Sonko and the new president of Senegal. So the prime minister made this comment, and it is scaring the French. The Senegalese Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko, speaking at a conference in the capital city Dakar, wondered why Senegal still had several French bases more than 60 years after independence from France. Mr. Sonko questioned the impact of the French military presence on the country's sovereignty. He said, quote, "I reiterate here the desire of Senegal to have its own control, which is incompatible with the lasting presence of foreign military bases in Senegal." End quote. We're not really surprised by him saying this because he was very vocal. Even before he became prime minister, he was vocal about how it's not fair, the relationship Senegal has with France, and how it should stop, basically, like this exploitative relationship that they have with their former colonial masters should change. And that video actually went viral before it was announced that he was going to be the prime minister of Senegal.
It is high time for France to lift its knee off our neck and put an end to this unjust oppression. Centuries of misery, human trafficking, colonization, and neocolonization have caused immeasurable suffering. It's time to put an end to this cycle of oppression. It's high time for France to leave us alone. It's time for France to take a cue from its European neighbors and learn a valuable lesson in independence. Germany is the leading economic power in Europe, significantly surpassing France, which is ranked as the third or fourth largest economic power globally. Germany does not exploit any country, any colony. I can mention Italy, I can mention Spain, who had colonies before, but who do not exploit anyone, who do not interfere, who do not impose leaders in their former colonies. On what grounds does France believe it can continue to impose leaders on us and make choices on our behalf? This must come to an end. And the emerging Africa, the African youth, the African elites, and the African diaspora all stand united in saying no, it cannot continue any longer. France's hypocrisy is evident and pervasive in daily life. Let's examine the cases of Mali and Chad as prime examples of this hypocrisy. In Chad, where the constitutional process has been interrupted, France applauded and its president visited to officially consecrate the new king's coronation ceremony. In Mali, where it is not the constitutional process that has been interrupted, but the transition process, France has condemned and even packed up its things to say that it is leaving Mali. That's hypocrisy. It's the double standard. It is the double language that France employs in its dealings with Africa. During our questioning of Mr. Jean-Yves Le Drian regarding the situation in Ivory Coast and France's decision to allow a third term, he provided a clear explanation. He stated that while he accepted the third term for Ouattara, he refuses it for Belarus. He emphasized that France has condemned the situation in Belarus and has actively encouraged the European Union to do the same. Le Drian explains that in Belarus, millions protested, unlike Ivory Coast, where there were no mass demonstrations on the streets. This is how France deals with African issues. Personally, we expect absolutely nothing from France. We desire her to cease meddling in our matters, so that the people of Senegal can exercise their freedom of choice, rather than being influenced by France's selection of a candidate using the tactics we are aware of. We begin by targeting individuals, adorning them with the Legion of Honor or a similar knightly rank, enlisting them in Masonic lodges, and informing them to prepare themselves as they will be next in line. Even the hypothesis that Macky Sall may not succeed, we know who is being prepared by France. This must come to an end. It will not occur in this manner any longer. Let's be clear. We have absolutely nothing against the French people. In France, both political and citizen voices are rising to hold and express the same discourse as the one I'm currently presenting to you. For example, the deputies, such as Mrs. Frédérique Dumas, who regularly speaks on the platform of the Assembly, who regularly writes to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, since she is a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, to raise this unfair behavior of France towards Africa, hold the same speech as us. The same Mr. Jean-Luc Mélenchon, Jean-Paul Lecoq, André Chassaigne, all deputies, hold the same discourse as us, and hundreds of other voices. The NGOs, like other non-profit organizations, are doing remarkable work in the same direction. We strongly urge France to listen to the voices that speak to it about our plan for a more collaborative, fairer, and sustainable partnership between Africa and France. It is crucial that we work together towards a future that is equitable, just, and environmentally conscious. If she listens, I believe we'll have beautiful days ahead in our collaboration together. If he doesn't know how to cut it, thinking he can continue to function like in the time of our grandfathers, this African youth no longer accepts it. France must make preparations for a definitive break and completely withdraw from Africa. Africa belongs to Africans, not France. She belongs to no one else, neither China, nor the United States, nor anyone else.
The person you watched in that video is Ousmane Sonko. He is loved by the people of Senegal, especially the youth. They were ready to go to war for him. They were ready to protest. And unfortunately, a lot of people also lost their lives because of the protest and the Senegalese police dispersing them, using force. We've covered it from the beginning till now, and it is such a wonderful thing to witness, to see the people getting what they want, going out there and voting for the people that they want to elect, and basically showing the rest of the world and Africa that if you come together and demand for your rights, it is going to happen, because Macky Sall tried his best to stop this from happening, and he didn't succeed at the end of the day. And as you saw, these two men and their party stand for Senegalese people. Clearly, he was honest from the beginning, and that was his plan, and that is exactly why the former president, Macky Sall, who is seen as an ally to the Western world, why he irked his spirit, why he arrested him so many times, why he stopped him from even competing in the presidential election. Luckily, his friend was allowed to run and he won, and he made him the prime minister. That is why he's in office right now, and that is why the people of Senegal are really happy. They wanted him from the beginning. They protested to have him there, and it's not news to many people that he feels this way about France and their relationship. And the positive thing about Sonko is that he wants now to have a good relationship with Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. And as we know, those three countries have been showing us how it should be done, how we should come together, and how we should move forward as African countries instead of relying on the West or relying on a relationship with the West. So hopefully the people of Senegal get what they deserve and they don't go back to how it was when they were led by this Western ally leaders. Anyways, fam, let us know down below what your thoughts are about this. I am Wongel Zelalem.